Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Huddle, a black and gold podcast starring Mr. Gage. Ryan, how you doing, sir?
I'm lovely. How are you, my friend?
I'm 4-1, lovely. What? That's how lovely I am. 4-1. By the
How did
way,
that happen?
hello? Knock, 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 knock. Hello, how did that happen? 4-1, Pittsburgh Steelers. By the way, if you guys like what we do, please smash that subscribe button. Please ring that little bell and please hit the like button and the thumbs up. Please do that. That really, really, really helps. And we'd really, 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 really appreciate that. So we get to talk about Cleveland Browns versus Pittsburgh Steelers in a really not a good field
No.
on Sunday. That was the most horrible I think I've ever seen that field look.
Well, at least since 2007 against the Miami Dolphins in the dreaded
Okay,
Mud
well,
Bowl.
okay. Since then, but that's still been quite a few years ago.
Almost 20 years ago. Yeah.
All right, now you okay. So we're in that same boat then. Okay. Um, man, I gotta tell you what, folks, man, we were okay. Um, there was no there was no late game drama there. There tried to be.
No.
There tried to be, right? Like seriously, there's that much time left and you can't get a first down.
I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, we got to at least try and give them a chance to get back into the game. But I know that like they love their soft zone D whenever we go up by multiple scores. I'm not a fan of that, but I mean, at least this time it didn't bite us. So I'll accept it for what it is. I do think that everything, including the O line, just kind of felt better. Everything felt a little tighter. Everything felt slightly in a better direction than the previous week, certainly. And you're the line guy of this group, and I'm not, and I fully admit that. But I think that, like, just speaking as my from myself, someone that doesn't understand line play, is that at a very high level, at least, is that it just felt like even whenever Rodgers had pass rushers or whenever there was someone that was in his vicinity, that it felt like everybody was on the
Yeah.
same page getting
Yeah.
him to one side. It felt like
Yeah.
he had more time to at least
Absolutely.
extend the play. It felt
Hmm.
better. What's your
I,
synopsis?
I agree 100%. And on both sides of the ball. Defensive line play was it much improved this week as well. I mean, you gotta come on now. The rookie is jumping off the page, man. He really really is. Every time he's in there, he is just jumping off the page.
Mhm.
Okay, and I I understand Mike Tomlin does this with every rookie. He doesn't play them all. He doesn't start them all. They get a couple of reps every once in a while, and then they don't. And then they get a couple of reps every once in a while, and then they don't. And I was impressed with that. I really like number 74 Anderson's play on the line. I
Mhm. Is
Can
he
we
the one that stood
start?
off stood off the page for you?
He stood off the page, and you know who else did?
Hmm.
Well, two other guys stood out. McCormick played really well, I thought, and Broderick Jones was much improved. Okay, he held his blocks. He didn't have any. So now this is how you can tell the line has improved because Pittsburgh is now the least penalized team in the league up until this past Sunday.
Isn't that crazy?
Right? And some of those calls that they made were like, really? Okay, that's a penalty on us?
They had to catch
Okay.
us up. They had to catch us up to the rest of the league.
Right, right. They were just padding our numbers to make sure that we were, not the number two team, least penalized team in the league anymore. Okay, whatever. But that being said, you're not seeing those mental errors anymore on the line where you're not seeing those false starts anymore. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And you're not seeing those holding plays and holding calls that Broderick Jones, he's cleaned it up. You see what I'm saying? And that's all he really needed to do, as far as I'm concerned. Some of the things he needed to clean up too, like his his first two steps. that he takes needs to be better.
Mm.
Okay, and I think if he improves on that, which I think he's doing, right? And I really like Spencer Anderson. I really, even though he was the, fourth tackle eligible, or when the check-in guy, and
Mhm.
he looked good. Okay, can he play some more snaps, please? And then, of course, you're right. It was much better because Rogers had much more time. I think he only took like what, three pressures. I don't think they got any sacks today.
Miles
Or
Garrett was ineffective.
right, right. He was ineffective completely. Like he got nothing.
Mm.
Like no sacks, no nothing. I mean, I think he got a couple of hurries, but no pressures, no nothing statistically that you could. And he wasn't out there all game neither.
Mm.
Now, I get it. Neither was T.J. Watt. I get it. You got to spell those guys, but okay. Either way, though, I think both offense and defensive line both were much improved. It was great having Joey Porter back and Elliott back there. It was great having those guys back.
Definitely
But
made a difference.
it definitely did, man, because Cleveland's got some pretty good receivers. Okay? And all things considered, Gabriel is of the group, he's probably the best one of the group. You know what
Probably.
I mean?
He did better than
Shador
9 points
Sanders,
would indicate.
right? He didn't throw any interceptions. He didn't have any fumbles, right? And
Ton of drops.
yeah, and guys that got hit that got but he threw the ball 43 times.
It was that many?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
Oh my! And that many throws and no interceptions. And
Hmm.
look, there were what, three times when there could have very easily have been some picks.
Yeah.
That one he threw right to her. I mean, he threw it right to him.
I
And
mean,
it
Nick
went
Herbig
off
was
his.
wrecking his day.
Okay, right. And what was really funny is the commentators were like, we promised we weren't going to show the footage of the high
Yeah.
school game between him and Herbig, right? And Herbig just destroyed Gabriel in the high school game too, man. Like multiple sacks, multiple fumbles. It was like, all right. We promised we weren't going to show it, but oh well, we showed it anyway. Like,
That's brutal.
thanks CBS, appreciate that.
It was actually a funny part of the broadcast. We really
It
appreciate that.
was. Look, I like JJ Watt
I do too.
as a commentator because it's great that he gets to call his brother.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he's so, like, he's not a homer.
He's professional and fun to
Yeah.
listen to. A lot of people can't do
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. I mean, like us.
We got to
We're,
commentate a game one of these days.
dude, anytime you want to do it, man.
I'm down. I'm down. We'll get something scheduled one of these days. But yeah, like
Yes,
that's
please.
a balancing act that a lot of guys can't do. And like you saw that, like JJ has been fun to watch, or excuse me, fun to listen to, I should say. And I love that he
Yeah.
throws little jabs at TJ every now and again, and be like, "Yeah, when he gets 3 Defensive Player of the Years," and you're like, "JJ,
I
we're
mean,
doing this
come
now."
on. Come on. Come on.
Oh man, I think Iron Eagle balances him out really well too, because they can just
He's
like they play off each other real well.
of all the CBS guys, okay? He's he's the only one that I really truly like, Iron Eagle. I honestly, and I'm really liking JJ Watt.
Hmm.
Of the rest of the CBS group, aside from Cower on the desk, okay, that click. I would much rather listen to the radio broadcast.
Do you want to know who I think gets too much hate inside the booth? That's our. I mean, Chris Collinsworth, I think, gets a lot of flack that he doesn't deserve, but he also gets a lot of flack that he does deserve. So I think that's something that, like, he's a very 50-50
If I
commentator, if
don't
that
ever
makes
have to
sense.
hear Chris Collinsworth call a football game for the rest of my life, I'll be okay with that. And I'll tell you somebody else too, and everybody's gonna hate me, but I am really not a fan of Tom Brady calling a football game.
I couldn't agree more.
I am really just not. I mean, I'm willing to give credit where credit's due. You played in a really good system under a really good coach with some really good schemes, and you were able to manage all that stuff. So kudos to you, Tom. Way to go. Right? You got the 7 rings and the whole 9 yards, and you'll probably go down as the greatest quarterback ever. Blah, blah, blah. Yak, 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 yak. Right? I am here to tell you. I think there's somebody knocking on the door there, brother Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, but man, dude, you should have just stayed retired.
It's
Because
it
you're
would it was
commentating and your football color or whatever you're trying to do there, just wow, he's making 10 million a year for that.
I always thought that he was going to turn into like you know how Tony Romo used to call out plays ahead of time and call out schemes ahead of time. I loved that, and so when the producers behind the scenes essentially told him to stop doing that, it really, like, it's frustrating because now he's just kind of bland. And so I was thinking that Tom Brady might have done something similar, and no, not really. Occasionally, but no, not really.
And I'm not even, and like I said, of all the CBS guys, and you know who I'm talking about, right? They're all the CBS guys. And I'm not really a fan of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman much neither. Some of the guys on Fox are okay. That's why I think I would love to do that. I would love to be able to call games.
I think that Joe Buck gets way too much hate, to be honest with you. I think he used to be so boring to listen to, but I think in recent years he's actually done a much better job. I think that
Well,
he's
somebody probably
much
sat him
improved.
down and said, "Hey, Joe, you
Yeah.
might want to consider putting a little bit more snot in it to it."
We don't need to
But
make every game sound like a funeral, Joe. And then, like, to his credit, he's so much better to listen to now. I love a lot of his commentary.
but well, I mean, you're a much more a gracious person than I am, I guess. I'm just not a fan of listening to some of these guys talk. I'm just
I
not.
hear you.
You know
I
what I mean?
enjoy I enjoy Al Michaels' passive aggression. I don't know how you feel about it, but I just love the flag
No,
is
Al
down. What
Michaels.
else is new?
I can listen to Al Michaels all day. I seriously I could because
I
and
could.
John Madden I could listen to him all day.
Oh, God bless him.
Right? And
Yeah.
Kurt Gowdy, I could listen to that guy all day long. Because when I was a kid, and the first 2 Super Bowls that Pittsburgh was in, he called.
Hmm.
Right. So, like I said, I could listen to that guy all day long. And John Facenda, right? And you could listen to that guy all day long too. He was the guy that used to do all the NFL film stuff back
Oh,
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Right. On a cold, crisp autumn morning on the frozen tundra,
Of
and the
Lambeau Field.
right. Okay. Right. Okay. That's John Facenda. Okay. Yeah. All right. Like I can listen to
A lot
that
of
guy talk
times.
all the time. All.
Oh yeah, no, and like a lot of times when people meme or whatever commentators' voices, that's usually who they're doing. Is that right there? So it's a
Exactly,
nice little
exactly.
nod to them.
And Keith Jackson was another really good one too. Really liked Keith Jackson. He was the one that did the "Whoa, Nelly."
Oh jeez.
Yeah, right. Okay. But
Oh,
speaking of
Nelly.
commentaries, like I said, I think Ian Eagle did a great job with J.J. Watt calling the Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. E- I'm gonna say this about Cleveland. They even put it up on a graphic on the screen too, comparatively the rankings of their defense to their offense. And their defense
Hmm.
is like number 1, number 2, number 7, number 5. And their offense is like 32, 29, 30, 27. You're like, oh, wait a minute there, Mr. Stefanski. That's a bit of a throw off there.
I gotta say that the Brownies could really use a quarterback like Baker Mayfield. I always thought that Baker Mayfield would be a perfect scheme fit for what the Brownies do, and like I don't know, that maybe they could make a move for the kid. I've heard good things about him.
I mean, they drafted him. They couldn't hold on to him. They drafted anyway.
They're the number one overall pick, and we're like, nah, we're good.
So Gabriel becomes the 44th starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, look that up.
44.
44th.
Oh my God. Is that I need to look that up. There's no way that's real.
Yeah, that is real. He's the second one in just week 5 or 6 we're in right now. He's the second one already.
Wow, that's real. That's 100% real. That
I
is
can't.
so crazy.
What? You doubt me? Really?
Wow.
You
That is
doubt
so
me?
funny. I loved the jersey. I loved the jersey that people are adding each individual name of the quarterback graveyard onto one jersey. Have you seen that? Oh
Yes.
man.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Oh man.
Okay. So, and Mike Tomlin actually has a really good record. It's like 22-6 against rookie quarterbacks or something stupid like that, right? Yeah, come on,
Really?
check me. Yeah, come on.
I'm not gonna I believe
Come
you.
on, come on. And of all things, that's a pretty good record against rookie quarterbacks, right? And it's like he knows how to play against a rookie quarterback. He just doesn't know how to develop a rookie quarterback for himself.
Not
Hey,
wrong.
you know how you play against a rookie quarterback? That's how you develop one. Maybe. Or hey, maybe you hire somebody that is a quarterback savant that maybe might know how to do that. Or maybe you listen to them when they are on the team. You can't tell me that somebody was sitting there telling Mike Tomlin, Mike, you got to pick Jalen Hurts. Or Mike, you know what I mean? When the kid
See,
was available.
I'm very 50-50 on that. Like people talk about the Jalen Hurts pick, or let's bring Lamar Jackson into discussion too, because we took Terrell Edmonds over him a couple years ago and whatnot. I always just have
Look
this
how
issue
that
because like
worked out. What?
oh yeah, but like let's think about this. Like, do you trust the Steelers? Do you trust Mike Tomlin? Do you trust who was the quarterback They didn't have a quarterback coach at the time that Lamar was drafted. But point being is that do you trust them to develop in the same way under the same like is Lamar Jackson an arguable 3-time MVP under the Steelers tutelage? I don't think so.
Let me ask you this question, okay? Let me throw this at you because we talked about him
Please.
and everything else like that. If Tom Brady would have gotten drafted by the Cleveland Browns, would we be talking about Tom Brady the way we talk about him now?
No.
There you have it.
There are guys that are
Or
scheme
the
proof.
Detroit
I
Lions.
Sure, like I think there are guys that are scheme proof, right? I think that there's so like you could splash TJ into just about any defense and he'll be pretty good. But
Yep.
like there are definitely guys that are not scheme proof, where every last thing essentially had to go their way for it to turn out the way that it did. And I
Look what
think that
they did in Tampa
that's an
Bay when
argument
Tom
you could
Brady.
make with.
Look at what they did at Tampa Bay. They completely rearranged that whole entire team so that they could go to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
It
And what
became
happened
Brady's
when Tom
offense.
and what happened when Tom Brady left? They couldn't keep the
Uh,
band
w-
together.
well, no, they
Right
couldn't
now
keep the
they
band
got Baker
together.
Mayfield.
Now they're running the Baker offense.
Now they're on the Baker offense, which he's not doing too bad. So I
Baker's been
mean,
pretty good. He's been like I've heard
he's
some
not a
whispers, mind you, of an MVP
bad
contender.
quarterback. I mean, of all the failed Cleveland Brown quarterbacks that have been drafted, he's been the one that's been the most successful.
Oh, easily, not even
I mean, he
close.
went to the playoffs with the Browns, what, one time,
And won
right?
won a
And
playoff
won.
game,
What beat the Steelers?
beat the crap out of the Steelers.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. So, and then he's won what, a playoff game with the Buccaneers now too?
Yeah, he was. I think he was in the NFC Championship game like a year or two ago. Beat the Eagles in the playoffs not too long ago.
So, I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He ain't a great quarterback, but
I
he's
root for him. I love his attitude. I think that he's got a what did Bear McCockiner say? Where he said like he's got a little bit of spunk to him. Like he's just one of those guys. He's got an attitude and likes to talk, but he's definitely a guy that if he was on your team, you'd love that he jaws and runs his mouth. I like
yeah,
Baker.
yeah. I mean,
He's definitely a run and RPO kind of quarterback for the most part. I know he can hit some deep shots to Mike Evans on occasions, but
yeah, because he
I like
doesn't
his offense.
he doesn't really have much of an arm.
Eh, he has
I
like
mean,
enough of an arm. Does
he
that
has
make sense?
enough of an arm. He can make. I'd say he can still make 90% of the throws.
Yeah.
Which okay, that's not bad, right?
He's got a
90%.
better arm than Tua.
I mean, here's the thing now, okay? So Pittsburgh has now beaten the Cleveland Browns, okay? And that's the only division game that they've played.
Mhm.
Their next game is this coming Thursday. So talk about coming off of a bye week and then having to just so they went to Ireland, then they had a bye week, right? Then they play Cleveland, then they're going to play Cincinnati on Thursday night.
Joe Flacco and the Bungles.
Wouldn't that have been crazy if it would have been Joe Flacco and the Browns, and then he got traded, and then it was Joe Flacco and
Round two.
it almost worked out like that. I mean,
Almost. Like off
he
by
was
like what a
one
week
week
or two.
away, right? He's off by a week,
Yeah.
but that's the horribleness of when you lose your starting quarterback and you don't have anybody really decent to back him up. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things.
I like that Joe is still somehow finding places to play quarterback for significant points of time. I just love that he's like this is his retirement plan, I'm convinced. Like he's never gonna retire. He's just gonna do this for like the rest of his life.
Well, what did the Magic Man do, right? Fitzpatrick, right? At the end of his career, he played for like what, 25 teams or something?
Eh, Everybody.
Like he's got 1 year with every team, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, he was one of the only few guys that I saw that he was able to just hop on a team and do it.
He'll either throw 4 touchdowns or 4 interceptions. And it's you never know what you're gonna get with that dude.
You know, but man, the electric meatball,
Yeah.
Jalen
But
Warren, holy papa! That dude, look, I don't care what anybody says about Pittsburgh running backs in the past. I don't care what they say about other running backs in the league, but Jalen Warren is, if I could, he is the epitome of angry run.
mhm,
Okay? Like that
yeah.
guy just, I, I've never seen a running back that is able to just plow through guy. The last time I saw a guy that could do that was Earl Campbell. And there was
I'll
a
throw 2 names in there. Beast Mode and Frank Gore. I think do similar stuff with similar body types.
and I'll even throw in another name in there, Barry Sanders.
Sure.
Now I'm not gonna
He's not
I'm
quite
I'm
Barry
not
Sanders.
I'm not gonna say he's even close to Barry Sanders, but he was one of those smallish type guys that it didn't really matter. He could just run over you or run around you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Just
oh,
electric. Just the ability to keep the play going, keep hitting off people. Turning a 4 yard run into a 7 yard run consistently is wildly valuable.
and the fact that he keeps his legs churning.
Doesn't give
Like
up.
that's fundamental football right there. No, it is, man.
It
That's the
is.
first thing you learn when you play ball is no matter what, keep your
Keep
legs
your
moving.
legs churning.
Why do you think you do the drills that you do? You stand in place, knees up. You got to have your knees up to at least your waist, right? And then the coach will blow the whistle, and then you got to drop and do 5 push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then he'll blow the
Mm-hmm.
whistle again, and then you got to pop back up and knees up.
There's no
Yeah,
fun doing those drills.
no, but it helps you to learn to keep your feet moving is what it's basically trying to do.
Yeah.
And if as long as you especially as a running back, you keep your feet moving, man, you're always going to do something positive. He's got great body lean for somebody as small as he is. I just never seen anybody like that just be able to explode through people the way he does.
He's good at like also kind of turning into the correct leverage, if that makes sense. If he's getting pushed in one direction, he can roll off and kind of get an extra yard or two as he goes down. He's good at that. He's good at making the most of a lot of his opportunities, unless he gets stuffed at the line, which a lot of, I mean, how many backs are good at getting stuffed at the line? But, he definitely has
Many.
a skill set. Uh, he,
Right.
he's definitely got a solid skill set. But like, listen, I think all of our running backs have been good this year. I think Jalen's been good. I think Kenneth Gainwell's been good. I think our rookie running back has actually had a couple moments to himself, since his botch from a couple weeks ago.
I mean, I have to agree. Caleb has played decently since he's had his little botch issue, right? But he had some really good runs. He had some really good runs against Cleveland,
He did.
so I was really happy with that. Um, all in all, this was probably now. Look, you're playing against the Cleveland Browns, who have a rookie quarterback of 1-4. But Aaron Rodgers threw another 2 touchdowns. He was what 21 for 30, 240 some yards.
Played
DK.
clean. Like no picks, no fumbles, no real issues. Did a good job throwing people open and extending the plays. I mean, again, this offense works because Aaron's working. It really is that simple.
It really is that simple. I like that we got to see Firemuth with a couple of key catches. That made me happy.
I love seeing
So
all of our tight ends get time. We had some Washington, some Mount Washington moments, some Pat
oh,
moments.
well, talk to me
John who had a
about
good play.
dude that first play with Mount Washington, and all I could hear in the back of my head was Chris Boomer going rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, right?
It was like a diesel truck, like picking up speed. You're like, oh
Yeah, he
God,
was.
go.
Big Diesel, boom, 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 right?
He's what, like 6'8"? He just towers over all the defenders trying to tackle him,
Right?
like
Like,
to a
oh my
comical degree.
gosh. Oh my gosh, man. What a great catch. That was a great way to open. For the first time in a long time, Pittsburgh actually has more points in their first drives of the game than they have in the last 4 seasons. Let me just say that for you people back there in the cheap seats. Pittsburgh has more first drive points this season than they have had in the last 4 seasons.
Ben,
Hmm.
we haven't had a Rodgers, even at his brittle old age, is still better than any quarterback we've had since Ben before uh the
Beginning of the
injury. What's
end.
what the
Yeah, the
flexor
beginning.
tendon injury?
Yeah, yeah, right. I like to quote Steve with the professional quarterback type crap.
Yeah.
um,
Moving
one
people with your eyes, throwing across the body whenever the situation calls for it, like extending the play, just little things that like with Justin Fields, who did pretty well with us, all things considered, it was kind of like when he would
really,
encounter any kind of adversity, he'd start running. Whereas opposed to Aaron, who can maneuver and figure out where to go and read the defense better. I
he even
think it's a
had a
better fit.
little. Yeah, I agree. He even had a little trot around the outside there. That one little run he had, a little run.
Did
Getting
you
that
see them
old
try to run a
81-year-old
zone
man
read
out
with
there with
him?
his cane trying to, get over to the sideline.
They ran a zone read with him.
Yeah.
I I was You're not fooling anybody, guys. Take that out of the playbook. Throw it away. Never run that again. My
And
goodness.
and I liked the touchdown pass that he did because it was a rollout. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I was like, all right, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so two more touchdown passes for Aaron Rodgers, right? So, okay, we're good with that, right?
Yeah, he's done
Sup-
pretty well. I can't
Surprisingly.
complain.
No, can't complain, surprisingly. So, all right, we got Cincinnati on the docket here in a real short turnaround, right? Coming up on Thursday night here. And, well, we're going to be facing Joe Flacco.
I got a bad feeling about this game. Thursday
Shut
night
up,
against.
Gage. Shut up, Gage. You don't look, you don't have to go there, man. You could break it right here and now. Oh, look at him now. He's just gonna go silent on
Wait,
me.
what?
Oh,
Wait, no, what? Like I don't know how
go
to
ahead.
respond to that.
Please continue. Please continue.
No,
Bad,
I've.
bad feeling about this game. Stop it. Stop it.
It's Flacco. Oh man, I just think of that Colts game. You remember the Colts game where Flacco
Yes.
came in after Richardson
Yes.
got hurt?
Yes.
I hope we don't
Mm,
have a repeat, right?
come
Because
on.
Thursday night ball on both sides, on both sides. I'm not picking on anybody, but like on both sides of the ball for both teams, Thursday night ball is usually a mess. So that's it's like fun to watch in a bit in an ugly way.
Okay, all right, I'll buy that because it is going to be ugly, right? Because
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is probably going to have a couple guys that may not be playing due to how they ended the game against Cleveland. You know what I mean? T.J. Watt was
Yeah.
looking at a leg, and Patrick Queen kind of did some stuff. Joey Porter had some stuff. You know what I
Keep
mean?
TJ out. That's my opinion for what it's worth.
Um, I mean, Herbig has stepped up in a huge way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if TJ Watt has to sit against the Cincinnati Bengals, okay,
Yeah.
because Alex Highsmith is back, and man, did he make his presence felt.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. Thanks, Alex. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to see the quick little shot they showed of his dad and his mom in the stands, Alex Highsmith, his mom and dad. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
go to all his home game. They go to all his games. And they're from I think it's North Carolina, but maybe South Carolina. I can't remember exactly which one. But they have a great foundation out there that you um, the Highsmith Foundation. Be sure to check
That's
that out. Right. So Alex Highsmith was definitely part of the. Was good seeing him back. It was good seeing Joey Porter Jr. back, or Peasy Jr. Like
yes.
you called him last week.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
it was good to see. And the defense looked leaps and bounds. Well, I don't know about leaps and bounds, but definitely looked much improved. I mean, like the getting our nose tackle, if you will, getting him back was one level. And then I feel like getting our other starters back has kind of put it on another level. So
I
now that's
agree.
what the standard is. Let's see if they can hold it.
I agree 100%. And we'll see if there's gonna be any guys that are gonna miss any time based off of how the Cleveland game went, with it being a short week. You know what I mean? And I know that usually if guys don't practice on the day before the game, then they're probably not going to be playing. Excuse me, you know what I mean? And they're probably not going to get their traditional Monday off. I know Mike Tomlin had his press conference today, which I unfortunately I didn't get a chance to catch, but um, he usually, talks, gives you a rundown about what's going on and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's going to be a short week. So, what do
Yeah.
you think, man? You wanna throw some ugliness out there, or do you wanna not throw some ugliness out there? I mean, we've done it every week. I mean, why not? We're on a roll.
I think that Thursday night football should be abolished. And I think it should, I think that no football team should be playing with 3 days of recovery time. That's a bunch of baloney to me. As far as the game itself goes,
I agree with
uh,
you 110%.
it's no good for anybody. I mean, you're getting into weekly car accidents, is how a lot of football players describe playing the game, and the idea of giving them 3 days, 72 or 72 hours, and let's go get into another car wreck. That's just it's not fair to to anybody really,
Uh,
because it's a
well,
bad product, it's bad performances, and not a fan of Thursday
injuries
night
happen.
football.
A lot of injuries happen on
A
Thursday nights.
lot, a
We
lot.
know, you know.
So, but as far as the game goes, I think it'll be fun to watch. Whether that's in good ways or bad ways, we'll see. But it'll be fun to watch. I feel. And Joe Flacco, I love just seeing him. Him being a cockroach in the NFL. Just or he's the new Michael Myers of the NFL. He just can't be killed. But I'm gonna. It'll be a fun game. I'm gonna say we're gonna. I'll predict a win. I'm going to say we're going to go 5-1 because I think our defense is playing at a good enough level that we can at least mitigate the bleeding against Joey Flack in the run game. I'm going to say 21-17 Steelers.
Okay. I I like Mike Tomlin's record against Joe Flacco when he played against Baltimore. For the
Mm-hmm.
most part, he was a winning coach against Flacco. For
Yeah,
the most part. Um I'm going to I'm going to continue to hold true on that because I don't necessarily think he's going to be the starting quarterback when we face them again later in the season.
probably not.
Right. So, and we meaning the Pittsburgh Steelers, we meaning Mike Tomlin, we meaning the defense knows Joe Flacco and knows Cincinnati. And I think this is going to be a very similar type game to what we saw against Cleveland, where it's going to be more of a defensive. It's all going to be on whether or not Aaron Rodgers and the run game is going to be able to dictate what happens. Because if you just get down there and kick field goals all day long, that's not going to do it. Okay, you need touchdowns. Okay, because Cincinnati has the wide receivers to do that, and Joe Flacco is no slouch when it comes to throwing the deep ball.
And he's
Okay,
got a lot of quarterbacks play with something to lose. That's why they don't take risks when they should. And Joe Flacco is the exact opposite. He always plays with nothing to lose. And that's probably why he keeps getting opportunities. He will throw the deep ball if he sees an opportunity to. And we need to be prepared for that.
like I said. So you said 21-17, right?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be more like 17-9 or 17-10
I'd take
Pittsburgh.
that.
17-9, 17-10 Pittsburgh. They're either going to get three field goals or a field goal and a touchdown, and I think we're going to get a couple of field goals and a touchdown for 17 points. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just have that feeling because, like you said, it's a Thursday night game, not a lot of rest, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to be expecting this high scoring, you know, uh, shooting
Master
match.
class.
Right? Yeah. Even though we got two of the old guards of quarterbacks playing against each other. The two guys. One's 51, the other one's 81. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. But I think Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are going to come out on top as well too, in spite of the everything that you were going to say earlier.
Listen, the big X factor is Flacco. To be honest with you, if
Yeah.
he comes out and starts slinging it and puts
Yep.
up 3 or 4 touchdowns, this will be a problem
Yeah, we're going to be
quickly.
in trouble. Yeah, we'll be in big trouble.
If he doesn't, though, then they have nothing for us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They don't have a defense. They don't really have much of a run game. Their O line
Exactly.
is terrible. Like if Flacco falls, the team falls.
So, like I said, if we can play historically well like we have against Flacco, then I think we can do this as well and be 5-1. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would definitely put a stranglehold, I think, on the AFC North. Just now, yeah, Cincinnati and Baltimore each have a win against Cleveland, so they each have a win against a division rival.
Mhm.
But and then in quick succession, they're going to be playing the Steelers here. So I mean, going to be interesting, that's for sure. So I like the win
Yeah.
for Pittsburgh. I think you do too. So yeah, man, there you go. Why don't you tell us where we can find all the great stuff? By the way, if you haven't had a chance to hop on over and check out some of the great videos that Gage does over at Five Star Matchup, shame on ya! Hop on over there to patreon.com/5SMU. Get yourself signed up and subbed up so you can make sure you catch all the latest and greatest, especially all the great stuff that this guy does. So tell us where we can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at Gage Ryan Video. You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video. You can find my MMA content at Contender MMA, and you can find myself, Steele, Frayne, and the Steve and the rest of the group for all of our other Steelers content at Five Star Matchup.
For sure, and you can catch us all right here on the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast. For sure, for sure. Thank you all very much for tuning in and checking us out. I'm your co-host Ron Mott. You can catch me on X at RNJ underscore media. Also, be sure to check out the new website coming out here real soon, real soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, rnjmediasports.com. Wait till you guys see it. It's going to be really cool. I think you guys are going to really like it. Wait till you see all the great stuff we got coming out for sure on that. Thank you all for tuning in and checking us out. We'll catch you on the next episode.